What's good, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with Scotty Tregellas, which is the master of credit. Thanks for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me.
And Scotty's been helping me out for a few months here, man, and he's been helping me get my credit profile right. He's been helping me do a credit stack and apply for cards to get funding. And I have a bunch of other cards on my desk that he helped me get in my office, in my other office. This is the new office that I'm in right now, but right here I got Platinum Amex, Gold Amex. So Scotty's helped me a lot getting approved for all these cards and to be able to travel hack and travel for free using the points from this. And not only that, using these credit cards to help scale my wholesaling real estate business in order to invest in myself, and also to make sure that I'm using the right cards on the right expenses so that way I get the best return on points and rewards from these cards when I'm paying for my marketing, when I'm paying for my systems, my softwares for my wholesaling real estate business. And so he's taught me the whole game, and he's gonna break down his story of how credit changed his life, leveraging his credit changed his life, helped him become a very successful wholesaler, and how now he travels the world for free. And he's also gonna give you guys the basics of how to get started in building your credit and how to start applying for cards and all of that. So sweet, man, let's get into it. But first, what is that over there, that stack of cards?
It's a little storage stack of cards. Obviously, I don't carry all of these everywhere I go. I don't use all of these, but it is over 72 cards, I believe, in total, but I only carry around 5.
Crazy,
some of them are old, some of them are new.
The master of credit.
About $2 million worth of credit right here in my hand. Now, you're not supposed to be using credit to go out and buy like fancy watches or anything like that. I got into credit because I was forced to get into credit. I was homeless. I was in a motorcycle accident in 2015, ruined my credit, lost my job, really lost everything. And I was in Southeast Kansas, so there's not a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get into real estate, and this is before I really knew about wholesaling. And someone approached me doing custom builds in like South Texas. I was like, yeah, I grew up watching my dad build custom homes, so I'd love to get into real estate. Well, I sold a gun for $500 and paid a credit repair guy to repair my credit because we were going to use, personal and business credit to buy like shelf corporations to get funding to build these houses.
Yeah.
And my credit was ruined from that motorcycle accident. So the first problem I had to solve was repairing my credit. Paid a guy, got ripped off. Now this is a very common theme that I see, especially in like the credit industry, is a lot of people get taken advantage of. It's a lucrative, easy business to get into, but the problem is it's a lot of laws, a lot of regulations. It's a lot of detail that you have to know in order to be able to do this as a business. Well, I got ripped off, and at the lowest of low, I was actually homeless at the time, living in a camper in the middle of the woods. Damn. And so I started studying YouTube University. That's also when I found out about wholesaling real estate. I was learning credit and learning about real estate.
I found out about wholesaling real estate on YouTube as well.
Absolutely, and look at just the tens of thousands of people who got introduced to wholesaling because you're YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.
It was Cody Sperber for me way back in the day, and shoot, I even remember you when you first came around.
Yeah, back in 2019.
Yeah,
man, I started putting out videos. Yeah,
I was crushing it in 2019, doing millions of dollars a year in wholesaling, and I remember, who's this 16-year-old kid? That's really cool. That's cool, right?
Yo, guys, I wanted to jump into this video real quick and let you know that I'm going to be holding a free 1-hour live training where I show you how to make $20,000 or more in the next 60 days or less to get your first deal wholesaling real estate. Now, if you're already doing deals in this free live training, I'm also going to show you how to scale your business to a full-blown company just like I've built. There's going to be a link down below in the description to sign up for this 1-hour live training with me where I personally coach you in this business. Sign up right now. There's limited spots, and I'll see you there.
And so I was studying wholesaling, studying credit, and I just took action. And I sent out some dispute letters, and I removed like all of my negative accounts after one round. I think there was a couple other things that I was going to go after in like round 2. And I reached out to this guy, and I said, hey, I just did this, got these results. What do I do next? And his response, we could probably throw it up here on the screen, it was, look, if you think the reason you got results is what you're doing, then maybe you should go out and start a company yourself.
Right.
If it were that easy, everyone would have good credit. And that's where it's like, okay, It is that easy. Anybody can have good credit. You don't have to work hard to get good credit. You just have to know how to not destroy it.
It's just a lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge.
And it's simple, and we can break down the very basics to prevent ever destroying your personal credit. But me, obviously the wreck that I was in, it put me into a situation to where I had bad credit and I needed to repair it in order to get access to credit to then leverage and open up, more opportunities, get into wholesaling. So I repaired my credit, did it myself in less than 2 months, went from a 532 to a 741, and then I got access to some authorized user trade lines, another little hack that can boost your credit. So I was sitting around 741, and then I was able to apply for a couple personal credit cards. So I got access to around $10,000, so $5,000 on 2 cards, and I invested into my first real estate mentor program. As I was homeless, living in a camper in the middle of the woods, I maxed out 2 personal credit cards, and I paid 10 grand for Cody Sperber's. And mentorship.
To learn wholesaling.
Absolutely. And now in that program, it told me, obviously way back in the day when direct mail was still a safe marketing play, it told me spend $1,000 in direct mail marketing. So I did, created a niche list.
On the credit card.
On the credit card, $1,000 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, made $80,000 while homeless my very first month.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So homeless, broke, fixes his credit in 2 months. Now he goes, applies for personal credit cards, gets access to $10,000 in funding on credit cards, takes that money, hires a mentor to teach him how to wholesale real estate. That mentor tells him, go do direct mail, uses the credit card to pay for the direct mail. He's going in, he's risking this money, and boom, just like that, he gets deals done, makes $80,000. From homeless to $80,000 by fixing his credit and leveraging his credit to get into wholesaling real estate. And guys, by the way, if you are looking for a mentor in wholesaling real estate, maybe you're in this spot, and maybe this video is gonna help you repair your credit and then go ahead and get a credit card where now you have funding. I do mentorship. So there's a link in the description down below if you want to be mentored by me in wholesaling real estate. So keep going, Scotty.
That's the first thing I would say is definitely hire someone so you don't have to make the mistakes. That's why you hire people, right? And at my lowest of low, I had nothing to lose and I risked it all again in order to hire someone that it essentially gives you the shortcuts to the answers that you need to learn.
And that's a big thing too. Like when you're already at the bottom, you really got nothing to lose. So you need to find something that is going to work. And wholesaling real estate is a great business to get into if you are coming from nothing, and just go for it, because really, you're already at rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
So might as well take a risk on something that you see a lot of people crushing it in, and that's what you did, and it worked out.
It is a lucrative business, but it's important that you could be at rock bottom like me and you have nothing to lose. But if you have a family, a job, so you have security on the other end, you don't want to risk that. And how you do that is by leveraging credit the right way. I like to say credit is the key to opening up doors to opportunities when none others are presented.
Yes.
So you can literally create your own opportunities if you have access to funds. Right? You think about private money lending, people are like, oh, this is a great deal, I need to buy it, but I don't have cash, I need to go get a private money lender or a hard money lender. Now you're, splitting 10, 20%, 50% of the deal because you didn't have access to funds. So that's why I'm such an advocate for credit.
Because if a great opportunity comes across your desk, but you don't have the funds to capitalize on that opportunity, you're not going to make the money. Right. So having access to capital, having access to funding, having a good credit score where you can get a loan for something, for a great opportunity where you can go ahead and make a 4x return, 4 times your money. Like, if you don't have access to the capital, you can't capitalize on these opportunities. So let's start off with, how do you not burn your credit? So, by the way, guys, Scotty has a program. It's called Credit Lift, and there will be a link in the description for it. I went through his program. It taught me everything about how to keep my credit safe, how to grow it, how to protect it, how to grow it, how to fix it, how to apply for cards, all that. I learned everything. And one of the biggest things that I did find really valuable in there, and that a lot of people don't know, is like, there's some basics of how to not destroy your credit. Because guys, if you don't destroy it in the first place, then you're going to be starting in a good spot. So
business, funding, and then travel. All right, so there's 4 concepts of credit. All right, there's personal, that's us, the individual. Then there's your business, your LLC. And then there's the funding and the travel, okay? In order to accomplish free travel, which you believe it or not, very wealthy people, I'm talking billionaires. I have 5 one-on-one clients that are technically billionaires on paper. They love free travel. Every single one is rich for a reason. It's the mindset. And they say, well, if I spend $500,000 a year in travel, but I don't have to, all I have to do is to get the right credit cards, okay? If you have the right credit cards, you never have to pay for travel ever again. My wife and I save at least $100,000 a year. We never pay for travel, right? So it all starts by getting access to the right credit cards, personal and business, okay? So personal and business. Where's that loop? Personal, business. But everything is a trickle down. It's like a funnel, right? So let's start at the top of this funnel and personal. You need to have good personal credit. Don't ever risk your personal credit for your business, okay? That's rule number 1, right? I created one of the top 50 wholesale operations in the entire country, and I've serviced over 3,000 real estate investors, business owners, primarily wholesalers, because that's my network. And the biggest mistake that I see people making is risking their personal credit to scale their business. That's the first thing I don't want you to do. Yes, it worked for me. Times were different in the wholesaling space, right? There wasn't near as much competition. Direct mail worked, but I had nothing to lose, okay? So for the people that have a family, have a job, it's a risk. You need to alleviate that risk and make sure that your credit score is at a 720 plus at all times, okay? 720 plus credit score at all times, and this will allow you to get access to funding anytime you need. Now with your business, okay, and I'll circle back to personal on how to not ruin that, but with your business.
Get a good personal credit score and then create an LLC. Create a business, and now we're going to take all the risk under the business.
Correct. So with your business, it's separate. You have your credibility, and your business also has its credibility.
Yo guys, I wanted to jump into this video real quick and let you know that I'm going to be holding a free 1-hour live training where I show you how to make $20,000 or more in the next 60 days or less to get your first deal wholesaling real estate. Now, if you're already doing deals in this free live training, I'm also going to show you how to scale your business to a full-blown company just like I've built. There's going to be a link down below in the description to sign up for this 1-hour live training with me where I personally coach you in this business. Sign up right now. There's limited spots, and I'll see you there.
So business has a different credit profile than your personal, and you have to register your business because you can have the same exact business name in 50 different states. So in order for the credit bureaus to recognize that that's your business, you have to register your EIN with Dun & Bradstreet and Experian BIN. Then you have to establish your profile to be credible. Remember, it's not automatic like it is your personal. So by doing that, you just have to add a few like net 30, 90-day trade lines to there. And all you need is 3. Okay, spend $100 at these trade lines. You can find them inside of Credit Lift. I have a whole resource for that. Just get 3 of them, and it's going to establish you an 80 Paydex score. So 80 Paydex is all you need for this to have like an equivalent to a 720 plus credit score on the personal. So now on the personal side in the business, you're credible. You can go to any bank and you can always get access to funding. All right, but I want to circle back onto personal and business and dive right into funding because that's what's going to allow you guys to scale your business faster, right? So with personal, you need to have your credit profile a little bit, nurtured, not just the score. The score isn't the most important thing. When going after business funding, they like to see at least 5 primary accounts, so 5 PAs, so 5 primary accounts, which means 5 credit cards in your name. Not anybody else's name that you were added to, but 5 primary accounts in your name, with 2 of them being 10K plus, okay? Now, why is that? Remember, we're working down this funnel, all right? The reason why is because in order to get, with business, they'll lend up to 3 to 5 times the amount that you have already proven that you're worthy of leveraging, right? Or managing. So if you've got 5 primary accounts, 2 of them 20, let's just say you've got, 50K or 50 to 100K. Typically, you don't want more than 150K available on the personal because then they're going to start restricting you on the business. So keep it between 50 to 150K on the personal available credit, okay? Now business is gonna give you 3 to 5 times what you have already proven that you can manage, okay? So you want to beef up your personal profile first. Now, once you have that, you can keep it. I honestly wouldn't recommend going after any cards that don't benefit you working down this funnel for travel. So you want to go after very specific travel cards, status cards and travel cards on the personal. On the business, it's very dependent on where you're at in your business. If you're just starting out or looking to scale, you want to go after 0% interest cards, which typically aren't travel. That's why you want to balance. Get your travel cards here, do a little airplane, and then airplane here, and then 0% interest here, okay?
Yeah, so that's a big thing. There's a lot of cards out there that will give you 0% interest for 12 months, sometimes longer, 16 months.
Upwards to 18, sometimes 20.
Like you could get a $20,000 credit card where they're not going to charge you interest for 12 months. And so you could use that $20,000 over the next 12 months trying to get a wholesale deal and get your wholesaling business off the ground. And no matter how much of that card you use and have it sit there, they're not going to charge you any interest. So then once you close your deal, then you just pay off the card. But the whole time they weren't nicking you with interest.
Like 29% interest is insane.
If you have the ability to get your hands on a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 business credit card at 0% interest, you could get to, from that funding, be able to build a wholesaling business that will start doing $100,000 a month. Like I started my wholesaling business and got to $100,000 a month, spending like 30 grand. So like you could go from nothing to something and have no risk on interest for 12 months. That's why this is game changer.
Yeah, and we know that the average turnaround for a wholesale deal these days is like 90 days typically, especially if you're going to be running ads and marketing. So you don't, if you only had $30,000 cash saved up, and it's going to cost you $10,000 a month to run your business, by month 3, you're broke. You know, and now what if something crazy happens like COVID to me? I lost $2.2 million that month. Well, luckily I had a lot of available credit to keep my business going, so my leads never stopped coming in.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to build out my credit profile better and get more cards and more available credit by working with Scotty. I have a lot of cash, but you never know, like let's say something bad happened. Now I have all this available credit to leverage to get me out of that spot. Or let's say a deal comes across my desk and it's so good, but I don't have enough cash on hand to take the deal. Need that availability to be able to leverage this stuff to capitalize on opportunities.
100%. And here's the thing, even if you don't have any cash, like I didn't, if you're floating this on 0% interest, there's only a 1% payment per month. Okay, so it's extremely easy as long as you follow this process and this process. It's extremely easy to get 50 to 250K in 0% funding. Extremely easy. My average sequence is $232,000. Okay.
Yeah, our first try at applying, I got almost $100,000 in funding on my first stack working with Scotty. So I went out and applied for cards and got access to almost $100,000. That's try 1. Your sequence is a few different stacks.
Yeah, do up to 4 per year.
So after my next 2 stacks, I should be at around $250,000 in available credit.
Yep.
And previously, I already had about $70,000 available. So by the end of this year, I'll probably have like $400,000 in available credit.
Right. So,
and I'm 23 years old. Like, I don't have much credit history. So this stuff works.
Just think about what you could do if you had access to 50 to 250K for your business, right? Build a sheet, build your tech stack, rally up how much it would cost to run marketing, and then what's your ROI and ROAS on all of that. And you can really just kind of go after the funding that you need to float your business for about 6 to 9 months until you can just pay everything off and then just keep rolling into it. So there's enough 0% interest cards out there that if all else fails, 12 months down the road, you're carrying a balance, you can just simply roll this 0% interest into other cards. Why? Because we're floating everything on business. We're not going to be using personal. Business credit cards, and do not report to your personal credit unless you default. Just don't ever be late, all right? So the balance, you can max them out. You can max out the business credit card, and the utilization will not affect the personal credit score. So you'll always be able to get access to more funding.
So like 60% of your score is made up from your utilization, right? Or is
so
it 30%?
35% of your score is payments.
30.
So 35 is payments. Percent is payments.
So making on-time payments.
And then 30% is UTL, so utilization.
So the top 2 things that are most important that ding your credit is making sure if you have late payments, they're going to ding your score, and it's 35% there that, you know, and then utilization. So let's say you have 10,000 credit available and you have 9,000 on the card. Your credit score is going to drop because you're at a 90% utilization.
Correct.
So you want to keep your cards low so that way your credit score stays high. Especially you want to keep them low when you're going out and applying for new credit. And then, yeah, so business cards does not report to personal. So let's say I have a business card for 10,000 and I have it fully maxed out at 10,000. That doesn't affect my personal utilization. So it's not going to ding my credit. That's why taking the risks and putting a lot of the money that you're spending on business cards is key, because it ain't going to affect your personal credit.
So one thing that I see with a lot of wholesalers is these two issues. It's the two biggest factors of credit. So let's talk about how to prevent that. So how to prevent ever being late. So on every card, every account, even auto loans, mortgage, anything, you can actually choose your due date. Now what I do with so many credit cards is I have one due date. I change them all to the 15th, and then I set up minimum payment. So that way I know as long as that minimum payment is being made, I will never, ever be late. I just eliminated that from being a possibility. Now I pay them all off early, typically around the 10th.
But it's as easy as setting up in settings to make a minimum payment automatically on the due date, so you're never having a late payment.
Exactly. Now second is the 30% utilization. Biggest takeaway is stop using personal credit cards for your business, and you'll never have to worry about that. It's simple. I mean, the only thing that I use personal credit cards, I think my wife uses my personal credit cards more than me.
You can use a personal credit card. Like if you sign up for a new card and it's like spend $6,000 in 3 months, so then you get a bonus of points or rewards, that's fine. You can then spend $6,000 on business stuff on your personal card, but then pay it off right away.
Right.
So that way you hit that bonus target, so then they give you the reward for signing up for the new card. But otherwise, focus on using your business cards so you're not impacting your personal score.
Correct. So speaking of rewards, let's roll into that. So rewards, why are they so valuable? A lot of people, hey, I want cash back.
Yeah.
You're typically getting, what, 2% cash back, which isn't much.
Yeah.
I know some people spending, you know, several $100,000 a month in marketing and they're 2% cash back. Sounds like a lot. But if you think about it, would you rather have 2% or 8 to 50x the amount of value per point? So our typical, we travel, right? So we want to go after travel cards, 0% interest, collect all these rewards, transfer them over to our personal travel cards if we don't have any on the business, and then leverage these rewards to travel for free. So our average is, we save people on average $23,000 per trip. We average 8x the amount of the value of your rewards, because it's typically one-to-one transfer. So if you have some Chase points, you transfer them to United. It's typically a, or you book something, your 1 point is equivalent to 1 penny, right? Our average is 8 times the value. Yeah, we save at least $100,000 a year.
And so sometimes, like, if you have all these points on Delta or whatever, you could transfer it somewhere else, or from Chase, you could transfer it somewhere else, and they're going to give you this flight for way less points if it's a different set of points. So it's all about accumulating the points. You're able to transfer them and move them around to maximize them, and you can get $20,000 vacations for free, just based off of the points you're building up from your normal monthly expenses.
Correct. So, and how we want to do that is there's very specific cards, right? I do funding and credit stacking completely different than most people. It's very tailored to the individual, what they need in their personal and where they're at in their business and what they need in the business, right? My billionaire clients, they don't need the funding, they don't need 0%, they just want the travel rewards. So it's very, very important to understand this sequence here, and then applying for the right credit cards in the right order, so you maximize your approval odds and your limits, and then you optimize the credit card spend. Okay, this is where I come into like Jacob's business. I analyze all expenses. Okay, we've got 20,000 here, 30,000 here, marketing here, and then we're going after the very specific cards that reward him in what do you prefer? Cashback, travel, awesome travel. Do you need 0% interest? You know, we go after the very specific type of funding. We optimize the spend, plug those cards, set them up on auto pay them off, and then anytime Jacob wants to travel, he just shoots me a DM, or I have a little trip request form for my clients. He puts in his details, I go build out the entire blueprint, and he saves tens of thousands of dollars a year in free travel by just following this credit pyramid sequence. Very simple. Very, very simple.
Love it, dude. Yeah, so I'm building up my points and I'm traveling a bunch. I mean, I'm traveling with my own money right now. I'm going to Europe on Tuesday for a couple weeks and yeah, spending thousands of dollars to go on this trip. But I just got all these new cards. I gotta go spend like 30,000 bucks on each one or whatever, and then I'm gonna get the bonuses and they're gonna give me like 250,000 bonus points. And I'm gonna go, Scotty, I have 400,000 points. I wanna do the craziest trip ever. Build me my trip, help me maximize these points, and in an hour he'll build out my trip. I'll get the flights for free, the hotel for free, and I'll save tens of thousands of dollars. So sick. Is there anything else we want to cover on like getting your personal, any basics on getting your profile right?
Well, I think for the people who are like, well, I don't have the 720, maybe I did mess up here and here, there is always a solution to any problem, and that's something that I specialize in, okay? I am the first person to not only coach, but also do fulfillment on all 4 aspects of credit: personal credit repair and establishment, corporate credit business establishment, and funding credit stacking. So credit stacking and also travel hacking, all right? All 4 into 1. I do take on one-on-one clients, but we do have the Credit Lift School community that you could probably find a link right below, where you will literally learn all of this. So much to the point that it would put any credit repair company out of business. You don't ever have to pay anyone to establish your corporate credit. You don't need to pay a funding company to go get you access to the right cards or the right sequence, and you don't need to pay anyone to learn how to optimize it, and you'll never ever have to hire a travel agent ever again, because I poured everything into the school community.
Yep,
Right.
and I didn't pay a credit company. I just signed up for Credit Lift and learned all this stuff. So there will be links down below for the school, Credit Lift School. So yeah. Anything else you want to add at the end of this video?
Look, I think if you guys want to learn this, I encourage you to join Credit Lift. If you guys already do have a 720 plus credit score and you want me personally to put together your funding plan for you, that is something that I do. We do have a funding service where we will literally analyze both, optimize both, so we could do a hybrid stack of personal and business, whatever it is that you and your business need, establish your corporate credit, and then get you access to multiple 6 figures in funding, right? That is also, we'll go ahead and drop a link below, but you do have to qualify. We cannot do the credit repair first. That's a different service. So if you have a 700 plus credit score and you're ready to get access to 0% interest business funding and or the travel cards and status cards on the personal side, just go ahead and hit that link below and schedule a call with me.
And he'll do the full stack for you just like he did for me. But sweet, guys, I hope you found this video valuable. We went over some of the core components of credit. I showed you how I've gotten a bunch of cards by his help, and you saw he has $2 million in available credit, which is just crazy. And you're gonna see me traveling a lot because of his help. So get on this credit stuff with Scotty. And also guys, if you are looking to learn how to wholesale real estate and you wanna learn how to get your first wholesale deal in the next 60 days or less and make $20,000 or more, there's gonna be a link down below in the description for a 1-hour free live training with me where I'm personally gonna coach you on the whole wholesaling real estate business so you can make $20,000 on your first deal in the next 60 days. So click that link, sign up for that, check out the Credit Lift link down below as well. And other than that, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
See you in the 800 Club and in first class.
Let's go.